All right, so today's class, we're going to be going over marketing within Command. To get started, I am at the Command sign-in page. I am at agent.kw.com. And for today's class, I am in Firefox, and I'm in Firefox Incognito. So we've noticed that with Command, especially with the design section, Firefox tends to work best, or Google Chrome. Today I am in Firefox. So I'm at agent.kw.com and I'm going to sign in with my username and password, and I'll give you a moment to do the same as well. And this is going a little slow. I'm going to try refreshing. Ooh. And I apologize. This is not letting me log in. I'm going to try and open up a different browser. So bear with me for 1 second. Okay, this is now loading for us. All right, so I apologize for that delay. You guys were probably experiencing the same delay, but right now we are signed into Command. This is my Command dashboard. And to get started, before we actually create any marketing pieces today, there are a couple things we need to check out in our settings. So we're going to go up to the top right and click our name. So click your name at the top right corner and then click Settings. This brings us into our Command settings where we can see our different applications that are connected to Command, as well as connect further apps. Now for today's class, we are going to be doing a few things. We're going to do a social post, and we're going to do a social ad, as well as set up an email campaign. So there are a few apps I want to point out in this settings section. So if you scroll down, your connected apps will be at the top. And we're going to see Facebook a couple times. So we have Facebook for post scheduling and Facebook for ads manager. So in today's class, within the campaign section, we're going to go over social posts and ads. So you'll want to make sure that both of these are connected. You'll connect your same account. And for these, this is going to connect to your personal account. You'll sign in with your personal Facebook account, but the posts and the ads will run for your business page that is associated with that account. And if you need help or further information about setting up a business page, we do have training on that as well. We won't be going over setting up a business page today, but if you are going to post through Command, either a social post or an ad, you will need that business page set up to your personal Facebook. So we can see those are connected here. You can also set up Twitter for post scheduling. And if we scroll down, we have Twitter for ads and Google AdWords. So today I'm going to touch on creating a Facebook ad, but for any one of these, for example, if I wanted to run a Twitter ad, all I would need to do is go to the far right and click Connect Account. And it's going to bring up a pop-up window. Let me go ahead and allow this. It should bring up a pop-up window that will allow you to log into whatever account you are connecting. So I clicked Connect Account next to Twitter. It's asking for my Twitter username and password. I'll go ahead and enter that and click authorize, and that will be linked to command. Now down at the bottom, we also have this section called email services. So previously with command to send out email campaigns, we only had the option to use Mailchimp. Now we have the option to actually send to our command database directly. So with Mailchimp, you do actually have to make sure your contacts are in the Mailchimp website separate from command. And with the command email, you can send email messages directly to your command database. So we're going to be using our command email today. And when we click manage over on the far right, this is essentially setting up our reply to email. So whenever we send out an email campaign or a smart plan in command, this is basically designating where the responses will go to. So I'm entering in my sender name. This is what name will appear when an email is sent. And choosing the reply to email. So if anybody replies to our email campaigns or our smart plans, here's where we select which email that response will go to. So you can select any of the options here or add in a custom email. You can also manage your monthly account usage. You get 5,000 free emails per month to send as either email campaigns or smart plans. So you can see how much of that you've used. And if you find you're needing more, you can click manage subscription and pay to have more emails. So you want to make sure that is set up. There's one other place I want to touch on before we go into starting to create any marketing materials. Somebody asked, why am I in incognito for my browser? We have just seen that incognito mode tends to work best with command. The pages load faster. I know today wasn't a great example, but typically incognito mode does seem to work better. But there's one other section we want to check on while we're in our settings. So I'm going to click on Connect Settings on the left and then go to Marketing Profile. So Connect Settings, Marketing Profile. This is where you will add in your personal and contact information. So you do want to make sure that this info is up to date because this will pull onto our email campaigns that we create today. So at the top, you will see this little toggle. This is to make sure that your information is going out to your KW website. If you ever find that your KW site is generic and doesn't have your name or your photo, make sure that this little toggle is turned on and that will start to syndicate out immediately. But at the top, we have some spots for our headshot and logo. You'll want to make sure that these are a square. If they're not a square, they will appear a little bit wonky. And then our personal details, anything with the red star is required, but you'll want to fill this out as best as you can. There's a Market Center Brokerage information section. This logo actually works better as a rectangle, so don't worry about resizing the Market Center logo. There's some spots for compliance. If you are from an office or a state that requires compliance information, links or documents on your web pages, on your emails, you can actually add those in here, and we can assist with that if you need help as well. Sorry, my page did refresh. And then down below that, we have our social media links. You can add in links to your social media pages and then information for tracking. Oh, goodness, this keeps refreshing. Well, we're going to move on from this section. This is just where you want to make sure that basically your name and your contact info and your photo are updated. So that's the marketing profile. We do set that up for you if you've filled out our questionnaire, but you can always come here and make updates at any time. So let's go ahead and get out of the marketing profile. We're going to jump into design. So on the far left, this is our applet menu. These are the different apps or sections within command. And while you're still learning what these different applets are, you can actually click on the KW at the top left, and it will expand this menu and show you the name of each section. We're going to go into design. So let's click on this icon here that looks like a little paintbrush, and that will bring us into the design section. This brings us into My Design Templates. This is a library of pieces that we've created previously. And while you're in this library, you can go ahead and scroll through and select to see your different email pieces. Your landing pages are edited here as well. Social posts, print, agent site. These are pages on our website that we can edit, as well as videos. So these are all pieces we've created previously. If we want to create something new, we're going to go down to the far right and click the plus sign. We have the option here to choose email, social, print, video, or we can actually import a PDF. This is a feature similar to Adobe Acrobat Pro, where you can actually import a PDF and change the contents of that PDF. So you can change the text, change the pictures, move things around, and so on. So that's a really cool feature you have access to as well. We also can import photos and text from a listing. So if you are working on a listing piece, this is going to make it really easy to pull over any property information or listing information or photos. So I'm going to actually select, oh no, I was going to select this box, but it's not letting me, which is okay. We can also select that. Okay, so it's not letting me check this box right now. I do believe that is a glitch, but that's okay. If you can't select this or if you forget, you can actually select the listing from within the piece you're working on. So I'll show you that option as well. So we're going to start today by creating a social post. So I'm selecting social and then next. And this is going to reload and take us into the workspace. Now, while we're in here, we are currently looking at social posts. If I wanted to create a print piece, I would have to go back and select print. So in this page, we have our templates. We're going to go in and actually select a template. Under My Designs, you have access to your library again. And if you need a blank template, this is where you can actually select a blank template and choose the specific size that you need. And then there's also this section called My Assets. This is going to be similar to that marketing profile that we just looked at. Unfortunately, the marketing profile doesn't pull over into designs, but instead we have this section called My Assets. This is where we can update things like color palettes, fonts, logos. Our headshot would go in here. So this is basically information, bits of text, our logos, things we're going to use frequently on our designs. Basically a library of those items. And that's going to make it really easy for us to customize our pieces. So for example, if I needed to add in a new logo, I could go over here and select upload and choose that logo from my computer. So I'll show you how this works in action. Again, this is basically just a library of items I want to use on my pieces. Somebody did ask if this will be recorded. I am recording right now, and I'll have this on YouTube later today and on our website. You can check that out at slmtraining.com. And right now I'm going to go over designs, but I do also want to point out we teach a full class on Designs 101. So we're going over quite a lot today. So I'm just going to give an overview of the design section. But if you want a full class just on designs, there's also a class called Designs 101 that you can find on that SLM training website. So let's actually click templates. And over here on the left, we can see a list of all the different templates we have access to. So again, we are currently in social posts. So these are all pieces for social media. There are pieces for listings, buyers, lead generation. Under business basics, you actually have email signatures and social branding in here. So Twitter covers, Facebook covers, and so on. Under lead gen, you can find holiday pieces. But I actually want to go into listings. So I'm going to select listings on the left and then just listed. Here, I can break this down even further. I can view social wide. These are great pieces for Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn ads. Social square, these are perfect for Instagram, or stories. These are actually tailored for your Facebook and Instagram stories. But I do want to point out that these are pretty interchangeable as well. We will have the option to save any design as a JPEG or a PDF. So you can create an Instagram sized piece and you can post that on Facebook. You can also put that in an email. You can create a print flyer and save it as a PDF for a nice high quality print. But you can also save that same flyer as a JPEG file and post it on Facebook. So that's the really great thing about this design section is everything is pretty versatile and interchangeable. Somebody's saying they only have the option for social square. I think depending on what you're clicking on, some of those may have limited options. So try selecting a different option under listings. And if none of them have any of these options or all the options, try a different browser. So I'm under just listed. I'm going to go into social wide. I want to create a Facebook piece today, and then we're actually going to post that piece together in our class. So under social wide, I'm just going to go ahead and select this first option over here, top left, and I'm going to click use. Now this is the piece I'm going to work on. So you see, it does actually bring up my assets first. So there are these different sections over here on the left: images, text, icons, logos, and KWLS. So these are all different sections of things that we can use to update our pieces. So we can, under add, we can actually upload photos from our computer or any one of these sections. You can see these are our previously imported photos. So these are photos I added before. Company, you actually have access to some great stock photos in here. So you can use any one of these company photos, and there's a bunch of great stuff, beautiful photos in here that you can use. And then we have My Assets. So these are those items that I uploaded into that My Assets section, which is basically a library. So we didn't have the option to select a listing before we came into this piece. So I'm actually going to go down to KWLS, and I can search for my listing here. I'm going to type in the listing address that I'm looking for. Ooh, and I can't spell today. And select my listing. This is my listing here. I can go ahead and click select. Now what this is going to do is it's actually going to import photos and listing details from the KWLS. So it's going to make this really easy to edit my piece. So for example, I'm just going to start editing this. I want to change out this photo here. What I can do is I can go over to the left. I can click this replace button, and that'll drop this in. I can also drag and drop. So I'm going to start by clicking replace image, and you can see it plugs in my photo automatically. I can also choose to drag and drop. And I do want to point out, let's see. Okay, so this has been acting a little funny recently when pulling over photos from the KWLS. So what I'm going to do is I have this photo saved on my computer as well. So you can see once I selected that photo from KWLS, it was there, and then it kind of jumped over to the corner. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to go into images and click add. From here, I can go ahead and select an image from my computer. I do have a listing image saved. You can see there's my photo, and I'm just going to try dragging and dropping again. And that did save. So for some reason, the KWLS photos are acting a little funny, but you can still add photos directly from your computer. You can also click on this photo here and choose reposition to change how this is cropped. Now all I need to do is change the text and the logo. So I'm going to go down to logo first, click on the logo that I'd like to change, and it pulls up the logo section here on the left. I can choose from my assets. I have some logos imported already. Or I do have access to some company logos. So these are just going to be generic KW logos, but I can still use these. When you see, when I click replace, it does plug in the logo. I may have to reposition this just a little bit. And you can see it's being a little finicky. There we go. So I can adjust the size and move that around. I also need to change the property details. So I'm going to click on this listing address at the top. I can go back to KWLS. And under listing details, I can use that replace button again, and it'll plug in my listing details for me. You may have to reformat this a little bit. You can see that it doesn't add in the state, so I always like to add that in. And there we go. So for some of these, it may be quicker to just type this in, so you can choose what'll work best. So this is 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2133 square feet, and the price is $469. I'm going to just readjust this box here, and there we go. So you can see, I know that was really quick, but it is very quick to go ahead and update these pieces. I'm basically just clicking and editing. And for these social pieces, you do want to keep it pretty short and sweet. You don't want to put too much content on the social piece because we are actually going to add more information into the body of the post when we post this. So my social piece is good to go. And again, this is just an overview. So in my Designs 101 class, I will go over this a lot slower, and we'll go over a social piece and a print piece. But for now, we're just going to quickly put together a social post. This is good to go. Right here at the top, this is my file name. I do want to rename this design. You can see it says rename design there. So I'm going to say 5119 Illinois Facebook post. And once I hit enter, that'll save right away. And the great thing is autosave is turned on. If you click on file, you'll see it says use autosave. That should be automatically turned on for you. So you don't have to worry about losing your work. So now what I want to do, I have a couple options. This is now saved in my design library. And when we go into social posts, I'll tell you how we can pull from the social post section. But I can also download this if I want. If I click download, I can download this as a JPEG file or a PNG. That's great for posting on Facebook or Instagram. Or if this was a flyer, I could go ahead and download this as a nice print quality PDF. So I'll just go ahead and save this just to show you what it looks like. If I wanted to, once I have this saved, I could open up a new tab, go to facebook.com and post this right away. And I'll go ahead and pop that open. And there we go. There's my piece. So now we're gonna switch gears, and we're actually gonna go into social posts and post this piece together. So we're good to go here. I'm going to click done at the top right, and that'll bring me back into Command. And then the next Designs 101 class, that is the second Friday of every month. But I do the pre-recorded ones from this month. You can find that at slmtraining.com. The next live one will be the second Friday. So next 3 Fridays from now. All right, so we're back in Command. Let's actually go to our campaign section. So we're going to go over to the left again and click on the icon that looks like a little megaphone. Now within Command, we have a few different campaigns. We have paid and free campaigns. The paid campaigns would be advertising campaigns, so Facebook campaigns, Google AdWords, and then direct mail. You can actually send out direct mail postcards through Command. And the free campaigns would be email campaigns. It's kind of like, it says email campaign, but it's more like an email blast. And then social posts. So let's go ahead and click on social posts. This is a dashboard of our social posts. We would be able to see all of our scheduled posts here for the week. And you also have access to some quick posts. So you can very quickly select any one of these like pre-made posts and post those right away by clicking this arrow here. But we're going to go ahead and post that piece we just created. So I'm going to go to the top right and click create a new campaign. For any one of these options, if for whatever campaign, you will have to click create a new campaign at the top. And let's go ahead and choose social post. So what we're going to do is we're going to work through these steps on the left to build our post on the right. In our settings, we already made sure our Facebook account was connected. So we can see that's connected here. So I'm going to skip over text for now. I'm going to start by adding in our photo. So you can upload photos from your computer. You can upload a video, add a link, but we just made that piece together. And I'm going to click Browse Design Library. So this is going to allow me to choose that piece from within command that we just created. So when I click Browse Design Library, it does bring up the library of just the social posts. And here's that piece we just created. So I'm going to click my 5119 Illinois. And it's going to plug that in for me. So as soon as that loads, we'll see a preview of that on the right. It does ask how I want to crop this. If I click on this drop-down menu and select wide, you can see it fits perfectly. You can also manually do this by dragging and dropping these corners. But when I select wide, it fits perfectly for that social post. So I'm going to click crop image. And you can see we're starting to build our post on the right. Now going back up to text, this is what I would normally do. You definitely want to put in your property description, but again, this is your preference. But typically what we would do is something like amazing new listing in Nashville. And then I would paste my property description. And you do have 2,200 characters here, so this can be a little lengthier. And then something like contact today for more information. But again, this is your preference. You can put whatever you want in here. You do have 2,200 characters because this is a post. Now, when we create an ad, we are going to be limited on text, but for the post, we can add in as much as we need to. Somebody asked about creating or scheduling Facebook stories. Unfortunately, not. I don't think that's a feature available. Actually, I'm not sure, but not through command. And I don't think you can do that within Facebook either, but definitely not in command, unfortunately. And yeah, you can add in multiple photos. Somebody asked about adding in multiple photos. You can see this is our design we added, but there is an option here. If you click on this plus sign, it'll allow you to upload another photo or choose another design. So there we go. We're building our post. You can see it has that text plugged in. There's also a spot for a DBA logo if you wanted to add that in. This is optional. You can see it's kind of small over here, but if I click right and left, you can see it's kind of plugging this logo in on top of everything. I believe this is required for ads, but for the social posts, you can remove this, and we already have our KW logo on here, so I'm just going to exit out of that and remove that logo. You can choose to include an ownership statement. And then we actually need to schedule this. So you can choose to schedule ahead of time or publish immediately. It does say the best times to post are Monday, Wednesday, or Friday mornings. So let's go ahead and schedule this for tomorrow morning. So tomorrow is the 29th. I can click 29 here, and I'll say 10:30 a.m. And there's no save option on this box. You just have to click away from this, and you can see it updates the date and time right away. Down at the bottom, you can select which page this is posting to, or you can connect a new account. We did select this in our settings. So there we go. Our social post, we can see really quickly, we created the piece itself, and now we're going to schedule it. So at the top, I can save this as a draft, or I can go ahead and schedule post. So I'm going to click schedule. So this isn't supposed to go out until tomorrow. It will ask, do you want to schedule this post? I will click yes. And then this will take us back to our dashboard. So you can see this is a preview of our week. You can set up your post for the whole week. We like to say set it and forget it. Set those up. They'll run automatically for you. And this is a preview of our post. And once this does go out, you'll be able to see how many likes, replies or messages or comments is the right word, or how many times it was shared. And yes, this Facebook post will go to the business page associated with your personal account. So there we go. Again, there are also these quick posts. So for example, if you liked this piece here, you can click on this arrow and it'll allow you, it's basically just like a shorter version of what we just did. It'll allow you to edit this and schedule this post as well. So lots of great content. You can use these quick posts or schedule your own posts. And I don't want to forget about this and have this go out tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this, and I can save this as a draft real quick. So let's just go ahead and do that. Oh, and actually, once you already schedule it, it looks like you can't change that to draft status. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this because I don't want this to post on Scott's page tomorrow. So there we go. Very easily, you can set up those social posts. We recommend maybe setting those up on a Sunday, and then you don't have to worry about it all week. So that is one of the campaigns. The next free campaign would be an email campaign. And this is basically an email blast to your database. This is going to be different from the smart plans. This is basically scheduling a one-time email. So let's go ahead and click create a new campaign again. Well, actually, before we do that, sorry, let's click on emails. From this emails tab, we can see an overview of any emails we've sent. We have a couple draft status emails here. We would be able to see stats on how many times this was opened, clicked, and bounced. Information about how many emails we've sent in the last day, and so on. And it does tell you how many emails you have remaining with your command email. Again, you get 5,000 free emails per month. Now, we are going to use our command email today. So that just means we are sending the email, our email blast, to our command database. So contacts I already have in command. So when sending out an email list, you have the option to, you will have to create an email list. So you have that option when you're actually creating the campaign, but you can configure your list and set up your list from here. So right now we are under emails, and I'm going to click configure lists. This is going to allow me to set up my email list so that once I'm ready to actually go in and create the campaign, I can very easily select that list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click create list, and down below, these are lists that we have created previously. And I'm going to say class list 128. And just select some emails. So this is the name of the email list. You'd probably call it like email blast list, family and friends, whatever it is. Actually, I'll change that. That's a better example. Email blast list. And then you can select which contacts you'd like to add to your list. You can search for people by name, email, or neighborhood. You can also select by tag. These are all the tags I have in my database. Or you can just manually go through and tag and select. I don't have that many people in my database, so I can just select some people. And there we go. You can see we have the friends characters in here as well. So basically, you'll come in here, create your email list, and select who needs to be on that list, and click confirm. This is a great question. The email stats were not working properly. Somebody said they sent out an email, she clicked it, she sent it to herself, emailed it, clicked it, opened it, and it was not showing within command. So unfortunately, that is an error that we were experiencing as well. The email stats are not coming over properly at this time. And you get 5,000 emails per month. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. We're hoping that will be resolved soon. And then somebody did ask me to select by tag. I'm just going to go ahead and click this pencil to email my list again, or edit my email list again. And let's say I want to search by tag. So I'm going to click tags. select the tag I want to use. So I'll click friends, and then you do have to manually scroll through this. So just keep that in mind. I'm selecting the tag. Oop, and that might not be working. I apologize. Let me go ahead and undo that. Okay, let me try that one more time. So I believe that, and I'll try creating a new list, but unfortunately when I'm going in to edit my list and I was selecting the wrong tag. So if I select friend, we have friend and friends tags in our email list. So I click tag, selected the tag I want to search by, and you can see it's pulling up contacts with that friend tag. And then I can actually select them and add them to the mailing list. So there we go. We now have 4 people in that email blast list. And then this is another great question. Somebody asked how you can see who unsubscribed, who undelivered. Unfortunately, at this time, there is not a place in Command that has a comprehensive list of all of those things. The only way to see that would be to go into the contact record for those people, and it'll show on their timeline when you actually go in and click on their name and view their contact information. Typically, within reports over here, you would be able to see how many people unsubscribed, how many people clicked and opened. That's not populating at this time, and it doesn't actually show names, unfortunately. So you would have to actually look in that person's contact record. We're really hoping that feature becomes live soon. And so that's where it should show. I would say these are all great ideas that we're hoping for as well. If you can go to ideas.kw.com, you can actually post those ideas on that website. Other agents can see them, KW can see them, and hopefully they will implement those soon. So I definitely recommend going there because we would love to see those features as well. All right, so we created our email list. Now let's actually create that email blast. So I'm going to click create a new campaign again, and then choose email. From here, I can enter the campaign name. So I'm going to just go with my listing. We're going to do an email blast for my listing. You can choose a goal. My goal is to advertise the listing. And then it's asking where your campaign will run. Now I can choose Mailchimp, but I would have to make sure that my contacts are in Mailchimp's website. I just created that mailing list for Command, so I'm going to click Command Email and then Set Up Campaign. Now this is going to be a similar process. We're going to work through these items on the left and build our email on the right. You can see our goal, our campaign name, and the channel are selected here. Here under Select Account, this is our Command email that we set up at the beginning of class in our settings up here. So that's already good to go for me. And now we need to choose our recipients list. I can actually create a list here as well. So that's another place where you can, if you get in here and you don't have your list ready, you can actually create the list, or I can select a list here. So I'll go ahead and click my email blast list. That's the one we just created. Sender and reply to, these are already set up, though I can edit them by clicking this edit button. That's the command email again that we set up in our settings. So that's already good to go. And then our subject. And I'll just say, just listed in Nashville. This is my email subject. Now we need to select a design or go in here to create a new email design. So I'm going to click here under content, and we have a couple options. So this is only going to show email pieces, and this is our library. So these are email pieces we've created before. So you have a couple options here. You can go into designs where we made that social post and create an email ahead of time, or you can come in here and click KWRI templates, and you have access to the templates here as well. And there are a lot of great pieces in here. You can see there's some holiday pieces. There's a Valentine's Day email you can use. Happy holidays, happy spring. Lots of great options, 41 different templates. I'm actually going to scroll down. I kept clicking more, and we're going to go into modern just listed, and we're going to put together this email. So I scrolled down just a little bit. Toward the bottom, I am at modern just listed, and I want to use this template, so I'll go ahead and select that. Somebody asked about migrating your contacts over to Mailchimp. This can be done if you set up a PySync connection, and that can actually be done in your settings. If you have further questions on that, shoot us an email and we can assist with that as well. So I'm going to drop our email in the chat. All right, so this is our email. We're going to just go through and build this together. Anything you see these little pieces of text that have the brackets and the stars, asterisks around them, that means this is going to auto-populate for us. So this is pulling from our marketing profile. That's why we set that up at the beginning of class. So you can see it says like agent first name, last name, all of this. If you see this funny looking text, that means it's going to auto-populate for us. So similar sort of process, we're just going to click on things and start to edit them. So let's start with this photo. When I click on the image, I have the option to delete it or click the pencil to edit. So I'm going to click the pencil. And here's what we're going to edit over on the right. I can link this image. I can change the width, the height. I just want to add in an image to start. So I'm going to click replace. From here, there are some images added in. You can actually click add images and those will be stored under my images. So if I click add images, I can browse and choose a photo from my computer, photo I have saved. You also have access to the listing images again. So I'm going to type in my listing address, select my listing. It brings up the photo, so I can click my listing photo here and then click replace. Over here, you can see it's not on the left yet, but our photo is here. Once I click done, our photo is plugged in. Now let's just go through and edit this text. I'm going to click on this text box, click the pencil button. I can change out the text here. Oop. I can also choose to change the font, change the size, and so on. I can customize this. I'm going to click done, and that adds that in. You may have to mess around with this a little bit to make sure you can see it added some extra lines there. So you may have to mess around with it to make sure it fits perfectly, but there we go. I added in the address. The text does have to be manually added in. So I'm going to click here, click the pencil button, update the price. Click done. Edit this text. I believe it was 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2133 square feet. So I'm updating that. So you can see pretty easy. I'm just clicking and editing. And again, it did kind of adjust the width there. So I'm going to take out that extra space and that looks good. Now I want to add in my property description. So I'm clicking on this box. You can see it has some filler text. Copying I have another screen open with my property description. So I'm just going to paste that in. Click done. And there we go. Again, you may have to mess around with this. So I'm going to see what this does. There we go. So when I clicked that box for use inline text, it readjusted this for me and made it more compact. So again, I'm just clicking and editing, copying and pasting. There's this group of text here. I don't necessarily need something there, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. Add in a couple more images. So I'm going to click here, click the pencil button. Again, same process, replace. I will have to search for my listing again. So I'm just going to go through this real quick. Choose a couple different options. Click done. Again, same thing, pencil, replace, listing images. So it's a few steps, but they are simple steps. So you can work through and add these bits of information in. I'm just doing the same thing again, selecting photos. I usually like to do like a living room shot and a kitchen shot. So that's plugged in. You can see very quickly our email's coming together. Now there's a button here that says view listing. I want to link this. I want somebody to be able to click on this and be brought to the listing. So I'm going to click that pencil button. The button says view listing. You can change that if you'd like. And it says, here we go. So under link, we need to select where this is linking to. So I'm going to click link to. I can choose a landing page. If I have a landing page in command already set up for this specific listing, I can actually select that here. I'm going to go ahead and choose web address. I'm linking to this agent's website for this specific listing. So I just plugged in the web address for that listing. I can change the width, the height, the font, the color. I can completely customize this. I can also choose if this is squared or rounded. But I'm just going to add in the text or the link and click done. And now when somebody clicks on this, they will be brought to that listing page. And you can see down here at the bottom, if you look here, when I highlight the listing button, view listing, there is that link of where this is going to go to. So that looks good to go. I can change this text if I like, but everything else looks good. All of this funny text is going to auto-populate for me. So what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and save this at the top right. This is our file name. If I click on the pencil or just click here, I can edit this. So I'll just say 5119 Illinois email piece. Oop. That's saved. It says saving to designs. And let's go ahead and preview this. If we click on this little eyeball here, this will give me a preview of this piece. So you can see this is what our email will look like. And you can see there, it actually went ahead and plugged in that text for me. And I can see different previews. So this is what it'll look like on a computer, on a tablet, and on a phone. And I'm not quite sure. I'm really hoping that I didn't just lose my work, because this is acting a little funny. Okay, so this is saying it's giving me an error for the agent license number. Scott's not an agent. So if you see that message, I'm just going to edit this text box because I really don't want to lose this work. And I believe now it should allow me to save. Okay, let's see if there's one other spot for this agent license number. Okay. So again, you might have to mess around with this to make sure that this saves. There we go. Okay, so since Scott doesn't have an agent license number plugged into his marketing profile, that was erroring out. But this is still good to go. My piece looks good. It does say it's saved. I'm going to click save just one more time, doesn't hurt. And I'm going to click save and exit. All right, so now this is complete. On the right, we can see our email piece. This is what it's going to look like. I highly recommend, if you click on actions, you can actually send a test email. I would recommend sending this test email to yourself just to preview what this will actually look like before it goes out. So you can enter your email here and send that test email. So I do recommend doing that. From after you check out that test email, make sure everything is good to go. You can either schedule this email ahead of time, save it as a draft, or send right away. If I click schedule, I can choose when I want this email to go out, date and time, and that'll go out at that time that I select. I'm just going to go ahead and save this as a draft. But there we go. We can see it was very easy for us to go ahead and set up that email. And if you guys have any trouble when you're working on that, you're having trouble saving, you're getting any error messages that you don't understand, definitely reach out to us and we can take a look at that for you. Yeah, absolutely. We are going to, I'm recording right now. This will be on slmtraining.com. And if you have specific questions on anything or I didn't get to your questions today, we can absolutely help. Before we wrap up today, I want to do just a quick overview of a social post. I do have a full class on Facebook Ads 101, and I will drop that in the chat for you. But I just want to touch on running a paid ad. Before you set up anything paid in Command, whether that's a paid advertising campaign or direct mail, you will need to go into this payments section here and just make sure your credit card is added in. But let's go ahead and click on paid ads. From this dashboard, we can see information about our ads that we're running. We can see we have a couple ads in draft status. I can see where they're going to post, a preview of them, and then basically how these things are doing. The clicks and the leads they are receiving. Your leads captured, so leads captured from your ads, you can actually access those here and that'll take you into your database and show you those leads. But let's go ahead and just put together a social ad really quick before we wrap up today. So same process, I'm going to click create a new campaign and this time choose social ad. Under campaign name, I'm just going to keep working with that listing. My goal is to advertise this listing, and then it is asking where my campaign will run. Now, in our settings, we didn't have the option to connect Instagram, but your Instagram should be connected through your Facebook page. So we can't schedule Instagram posts through Command, but you can run Instagram ads if you'd like. Today, I'm just going to choose Facebook and set up campaign. Couple different pop-ups are working right now. This is just cropping our logo. This should be pulling in your logo from your marketing profile. If this doesn't crop right away, you can go ahead and exit out of that and I'll show you how to add that in. We are advertising a listing, so it brought up my KWLS page. I want to search for my listing and that's going to make it really easy for us to build the ad. So from here, I can search by property address, MLS number, or listing agent. Right now it's showing only my listings. Scott's not an agent, so nothing is here. But if you are in this only my listing section and your listing isn't appearing, that's okay. Just switch this to all listings and you can search for your listing instead. So same process, I'm going to search for my listing. And I'm having a little bit of trouble finding it, making sure I'm spelling that properly. Maybe this is pending. Let me see. There we go. All right, so if you have trouble finding it, check the status as well. I changed this to all and I was able to find my listing. So I'm going to select the listing here. And same thing again, we're going to work through these steps on the left to build our ad on the right. And the great thing is when you select your listing from KWLS, it actually plugs in a lot of information for you. So We're going to work through these and make sure we get these little green check marks. Our name and goal is complete. We already selected that. We selected a listing, and you can see it's already building our ad over here on the right. Under add text, you only get 250 characters, so you'll want to keep this short. Under main copy, they just recommend putting in maybe a couple sentences from your property description. So I'm just going to keep this short. This one says, enjoy the lifestyle many have grown to love in the nations of Nashville, boutique retail and dining within walking distance. So just a little bit of text to grab their attention. And this is typically from the property description. We can also add in a headline. You get 100 characters here. So I can say just listed in the nations. Anything over 40 characters may be cut off. And a description, again, 250 characters. They give these options. It says you could be coming home to this. If you actually click shuffle, it'll give you a few different options as well. I'm going to change this to view photos and view videos of this home. I can type in whatever I'd like, but I'm going to use their suggestion and click use suggestion, and it plugs in that text. So that's it. We have something in each of these boxes. We have a preview of this on the left. It is actually cutting off my text, so I'm just going to say just listed. Oh, and it's cutting off everything. So I'll just go ahead and type the whole thing. There we go. And I'm going to click Save Add Text. So now that we have our little check mark, and that is good to go. Let's go ahead and configure the ad media. You can see it plugged in a photo for us, so we can plug in additional photos if you'd like. A DBA logo is required for an ad. So you do have to have a logo in here. It was trying to pull a logo from my marketing profile, but it was going really slow, so I just exited out of that. I'm just going to browse from my computer. I should have a KW logo saved in here, so I'm just going to choose a logo from my computer. And you can see it should be plopping this logo on top of this. Unfortunately, I can't see it, but typically this logo would go in either the right or the left-hand corner, and a logo is required on these. So it'll make you add something there. But that looks good. Basically, this step is just selecting what photos or text. You can also add videos for your ads, but they need to be short. I think they say 15 seconds is the preferred length for a video. And I'm not quite sure why that just refreshed. Oh no. Well, I'm sorry, guys. It looks like that went ahead and messed up on us. So I'm just going to see if I can pull that up really quick. I also have that link for the class, the full Facebook Ads 101 class. So I apologize. Command is just giving me just a couple issues today. So we may actually need to wrap this up, but if I can't get this to load. But this is going to be similar to everything else we've done today. Very similar. Yeah, it's giving me some errors. Very similar to creating a social post. But essentially, you're going to go through, you're going to add in the information for your post, the photos, the copy. You will have to select where your ad will be targeted. So what type of audience. Typically, you choose your audience based on a location. So I was running an ad for a listing in Nashville. I would probably run that ad for people within 20 miles of that location. But I'm actually going to drop this in the chat for you guys. I apologize that kind of canceled out on us there, but that link I just sent, that is for our Facebook ads class. That's an hour-long class just on creating a Facebook ad. So if you're running ads through Command, check that out. If you have questions on that, definitely let us know, and we'd be happy to assist. So I apologize that that kind of got cut off toward the end, but check out that class there. I'm also going to drop in our email, support@scottleroymarketing.com. Definitely shoot us an email if I wasn't able to answer your questions today or you have further questions. But that is about it. This class is recorded. I'll have this on slmtraining.com later today. Thank you guys for watching our class today and working with us through those little glitches that we hit. But thank you guys again, and I hope you have a great day.